Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I'm your host, Alex Reevy, along with the Cincy celebrator herself, Sandy Reevy.
Yes, happy birthday from Cincinnati.
It is episode 342, the week of February 10th. Let's get right into it. In the transits, we have today, Monday, February 10th, Mercury square Uranus.
Right.
February 11th, Tuesday, Sun square Uranus.
Help your identity.
Then Sandy's conflict day, Wednesday the 12th, full moon at 24 degrees of Leo.
Be ready.
And Friday, Valentine's Day, the 14th, Mercury ingress Pisces.
Start early on those love messages.
Then on the horizon, we have our Greece retreats as well as a Talisman workshop coming up. And stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your stars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river, wash yourself clean so you can deliver you.
Hello, Cincy celebrator.
I know, I'm down in Cincinnati and it's actually really nice weather here. It's like sunny and like 60. It
Wow.
apparently is going to be 70 at some point in the next couple days.
What? That's a great.
I mean, it sounds good, but you know what? In early January, you kind of want cold and snow and fireplaces.
Early February. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's kind of strange. It's not the
And as much as, mom loves it because, she's the gardener, she's like, it's really not good for the trees and the perennials.
Even the grass.
Even the grass that are starting to get little doses of sunlight and warmth.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
might be too premature.
These trees and things could literally die. As
right.
They're opening up themselves to the heat and
now being super vulnerable.
So as nice as it looks,
it's not always great.
The errands are easier to do, but yeah, not perfect
Ideal.
For gardeners. Yeah.
Right. Well, let's move into the transits where we have a pretty short week, 4 transits to discuss. Monday, February 10th, today, if you're listening on time, we start the week off with Mercury square Uranus.
This is Mercury squaring Uranus, right? These are the two planets that really like to have inspiring, brilliant ideas, right? And so they come together in a square, and I call this right. And I mean that W-R-I-T-E, W-R-I-T-E, W-R-I-T-E.
All
right?
hand.
So really, things could be arriving, great ideas, thoughts that are like a little different, a little bit more inspiring, that you're maybe helping someone from a different perspective or bringing different perspectives to others. Write these things down. Because only some can produce, because it is Uranus. Uranus is like quick in, quick out. But keep the unusual ones. We use that comment, per use, right? It's like, hey, I expected that, per use. Can we make up a new comment here? Per unuse. Right? Let's try something per unuse.
Yes.
Let's do a new hashtag there.
Quite unusual.
Yeah.
Well, that just sparked up a memory from me because this week I was going through an old journal of mine and really like had like a smorgasbord of like either journal entries or to-do lists or things I didn't want to forget. And one of those was my solar return notes. And I also took the time to write a little letter to myself about the year. And I was reading through it and I was like, wow, I really did fulfill all of those things that I was looking for.
Really?
And yeah, I was really like, it was so wonderful just to have that moment to myself and be like, oh, wow, like I am in a different place from where I was then. And here I am, and I'm doing those things that I wrote down in my journal.
That's so brilliant because, you're about ready to turn the wheel to another solar return, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're
Yep.
you're just, what, 3 weeks away.
Oh, don't say that. That's too soon.
So good timing that you located
Uh-huh.
that. You could do
Yeah.
as you're preparing for the next year, you're doing a little recap of, those things that you wrote down.
Mm-hmm.
You're now reading them. So again, that's kind of the other portion of this, right? Mercury square Uranus, write things down because, hey, they could inspire you down the road. So
Yeah.
write them
So
down,
true. So
down
true.
the road. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for sharing that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So moving on to Tuesday, February 11th, Sun square Uranus.
Well, yeah, because we know that we got the now Sun, the next planet, coming up to the square, because Mercury and the Sun were just cazimi,
Mm-hmm.
in the heart. Mercury was in the heart of the Sun just the end of last week. So this is the Sun, though, right? This is the Sun. This is our identity. So choose something that you are, right? This is, your DNA, something about your IP. There's something about, connect with something that is yours and yours alone, right? And it's square Uranus. So it's like, hey, it might be out of context, but it's like bringing your identity or your vitality into a place of different or unusual. Again, it could really be spurred by the day before, that Monday, when we talked about the Mercury making that square to Uranus.
Mm-hmm.
Is like write down some things and then the next day take them on as your DNA.
Right.
Right.
And what also like a Sun square Uranus could kind of mean as well is a situation that really defines your character.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's something that is unexpected, or you've been saying like, this is my character and these are my values, and a situation might come up where you need to show those values, right? You need to like utilize them. You need to behave that way because
there's something called the watermark, right? The IP. There's the whole identity of your intellectual property, your DNA. So you may need to, it's kind of like what one of the movies I love is like kind of getting a tattoo on your face, right? Make sure it's how you
right.
want to present yourself, right? And go with that.
Right.
Identify yourself. And again, it's,
you identify yourself as kind and you tattoo that on your forehead, and you're being rude to the barista at the coffee shop. Well, obvious.
Yeah, a conflict of interest, a
right.
conflict of ink.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to Wednesday, February 12th, which is also your conflict day. Full moon at 24 degrees of Leo.
Because now here comes the moon making that opposition to the sun, which immediately squares Uranus. So this is what's called a T-square. So remember, we have the sun and Mercury. I mean, the sun is at 24 degrees of Aquarius, and Mercury is moved 2 degrees beyond. It's at 26. So we got a 24, 26 Aquarius planets making an opposition to the moon at Leo 24. And then they're all squaring Uranus at 23 of Taurus. So be ready. Something spontaneous shows up. Could change the course of your direction. So be flexible, be open-hearted, be open to change, be open to seeing things again different. Again, do you have to hold your identity very close to your IP or your watermark or your DNA?
Right.
There could be pushback, right? There could be pushback.
Yeah, interesting.
So be spontaneous. Because the Uranus wants to do something kind of radical and change. Doesn't want to conform. This is not conformist, right? This is a change.
Yeah. And we're going to round the week out with Valentine's Day, Friday, February 14th, with the final transit of the week for Mercury ingress Pisces. So Mercury is now in Pisces.
I know. perfect day for Valentine's Day. I mean, Venus is now out of Pisces. She's in Aries, but she'll make her way back into Pisces when she retrogrades here when we get to March. But Mercury now is following along Venus's pathway and moving into Pisces at 6:06 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And so start your love messages early. It's really sweet. It's great for communication. It's dreamy, creative, inspiring. Plan an adventure, kind of like a white horse style, because the Pisces can be very dreamy and very fantasful and fantasy-like, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you could be the white and shining armor going to get your princess, wearing one of those. What did we just see on the Grammys? Somebody was wearing Charlie X. I just caught snippets of the Grammys. She had this like wizard hat on with a veil on the back of it, and it fell off. Anyway, it was kind of reminds me of like some sort of princess-y fairy tale outfit she had on with all kinds of makeup and very, very creative and very identifiable, different. It's kind of like the Grammys, which are I didn't watch the whole thing, but got snippets of it. It was quite different. It was very kind of Piscean, kind of like, this is all different, kind of new again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where actually some actor or some singers and songwriters I didn't even recognize.
I'm sure that would happen with me too, though, because
like go look at Lady Gaga.
I feel like we're very disconnected from like the music industry too, just because it's not the same as it used to be. Of course, we don't have to like go and buy the CDs. We don't have to watch on TV and watch the music video where we're correlating the song to the face. Mm-hmm. So you probably know a ton of their songs of these artists that are on there, but you just have no idea what they look like.
Well, back in the day when I started listening to music, literally on album, and you would go stand up and get the big console at your parents' house and put the needle on the album, and then you'd sit down at the couch that maybe had plastic on the couch. I'm talking about we were just laughing about that when we reminisced with my mom the other day. And you'd sit down on the couch and read the album and stare at the pictures. And if the words were on there, it was a boost because you could sing
karaoke
along.
Night.
You could sing along. But if you wanted to play the song over again, you had to get up and take the needle up and move it back to the beginning of the groove.
So I have a question. How do you find the right place to put it back?
Well, there's ridges. There's an empty ridge. At each song, at the beginning of each song, there's like a empty.
That's precision right there. Wow.
Anyway, yeah,
I always just started from the beginning.
Yeah, I don't know anybody's. I mean, some of these like Who's Up, Teddy Swims. That's the one guy I do know that I love, but he didn't win. And some of these other people will be put up there, and it's like, where did they come from?
Yeah.
Right? So I'm sure I'm not the only one, even though I'm almost 69 years old. You don't even know, and you're coming up on 37.
I know.
Anyway, fantasy, as we were talking about, right?
So Valentine's Day, Friday, Mercury ingress Pisces, start early with your love messages. Mm-hmm. So I do have like a little plan for Valentine's Day. I want to do.
What is it?
I want to do like a little scavenger hunt or something. But I saw like this video of somebody that like when they like got in their car, there was just a little ribbon that was hanging down from the visor, and it just said pull here, and you pull down and it opens up the visor, and then from the visor is like a little like what is it? Like a little string of cut out hearts and pom-poms and some pictures along this like little garland kind of looking thing. And then inside is like the first clue of the scavenger hunt, which I think would be really cute.
Oh,
So,
so it's a road scavenger hunt.
well, I actually didn't get that far with it, but maybe it could be a road scavenger hunt where we like go out to dinner and then the next envelope is really just to go back home.
Or I'll stop and get,
What a great scavenger hunt.
Yeah, where do we live? Where do we
You
live?
found food.
Yeah, typical.
So
Yeah. Well, you could do
I could do dinner and a movie or something like that, which would be cute. And then, but so what I do have planned is I've been collecting all these like face peels and face products that I was thinking about coming back, and I was going to gift him a robe, and then I would give him like kind of like a facial.
Hey, that's very Piscean.
Spa experience.
Right? That's so Pisces.
Yeah.
Right? And then what you really could do is then have the food. What you could do is that part of the scavenger hunt is going to the restaurant just to pick up. Mm-hmm. Right? Just to pick up. You got to go there to pick up that. Then the next thing you got to go there to pick up that, because that's where the dessert is, or that's where the entree is, or that's where the appetizer is.
Oh,
or that's where the bottle of champagne is, and you have to do all.
And in the back of the car is where all the cold food is by the time we get home.
No, and then throughout the treatment, the spa treatment, you're providing him a little plate of, watermelon with.
Oh, that could be cute.
Like, what did they do in Bali? They gave us watermelon and milk. What was that? Coconut milk, watermelon slices with coconut milk. You would dredge it in. Oh my God, it was so delicious. But of course, it doesn't sound so delicious. But trust me, in Bali, it's very delicious.
Everything's delicious
because you get the vision of.
We found that out. Anything that would be disgusting here is absolutely wonderful in Bali.
It's kind of like Siwa juice. When I was in Egypt and I was in Siwa, they have something called Siwa juice. And it's like, we asked what this was, and they said it's dates and milk. We're like, we'll try it. Oh my gosh, we were ordering two of them per, and we kept going back to the same restaurant because they got Siwa juice. We get home, we try it, it's terrible. it's like not a thing.
Oh.
Like, don't waste your
Maybe they soak it. Maybe they soak it, and that's how
I don't know, but we're like, well, first of all, they're fresh. They probably went right there and picked off because it was date harvest season when we were there anyway. So.
Right.
Anyway, that's enough.
Okay, so then we'll move into On the Horizon, where don't forget our Patreon community is growing. We would love to have you there. Link is in the bio, or link is in the show notes. And March 22nd, write it down on your calendar. We are having a Venus cazimi Sun Talisman workshop. So when we are ready to unveil that, make sure to be on our email list, or you can also find it here on the podcast. And don't forget about our 2025 retreat lineup. We have Greece in September and Italy in October.
I swear I'm working on that right now.
Yes.
Actually, I just booked the 3 tours that we're going to have in Florence. We're doing a whole day in Florence. One whole day, which is only 20 minutes up the road. But we're going to be going to the, it's a walking tour. So we're going to go look at called the Gems and Secrets of Florence with a curator. And we're going to go to the Medici house and walk through there. And then we're going to go to, then we're going to end at the Duomo at the cathedral. And then we're going to go to lunch, and then we're going to meet them back up and go to the Uffizi with a guided tour to all of the famous Botticellis and all the beautiful artwork that's in the Uffizi.
It is. It's just such a spectacle once you actually see it in person, and you're just like, oh, what? This is not really what I was expecting. Like, because you always just see it in textbooks, or you see it like, on your computer screen or your phone screen, but just to see it in person it's a moment. It really is. I will always remember that moment.
Yeah. And then the other thing I'm doing is I'm arranging for one day this will be an extra add-on if anybody wanted to do this, Vespa. A
Vespa
Vespa.
tour.
Riding your own Vespas through the fields of
Italian
Tuscany, and it includes a lunch and, oh my God, check this out, wine tasting and oil tasting, and then you get back on the Vespa and head back.
That sounds pretty amazing. Probably right around like a sunset time that you're just like, oh, this is life. This is wonderful life.
Yeah. And the breeze in your hair underneath your helmet. Yes, it's just lovely. Yes.
Well, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah, safe
okay.
And lovely.
So that's all we have time for today, everybody. Thank you so much for listening in to our podcast. We will see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one, you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story of you.